everyone, it's Destiny, and today we are going to be doing tier list review where we all take a look at the newest tier list changes as well as share our thoughts on where we believe characters should be placed. And before we get into today's video, I would love to know your most recently pulled character. How have you been enjoying them? For me, it would be the Dahlia, and she's definitely been a lot of fun for super break oriented teams. Lastly, if you'd like to see more content from me, consider subscribing to the channel, leave a like to support today's video, and now let's get straight into it. Here we are with the latest tier list changes, and also I wanted to say real quick before we get into the tier list, happy holidays. I hope all of you are having an awesome day, and let's just take a look at what has changed on the tier list. They have added the Dahlia. Some characters have also gone up on the tier list, which we'll definitely be talking about that of course. But starting off with the Dahlia here, she is 0.5 in every category, and also real quick for those that are not too sure how the tier list works, the higher you are to tier 0, the higher you are on the tier list when it comes to the character's kit, their performance in endgame, and so on. While if you're down in tier 5, then that would be the worst category to be in. So starting off with the Dahlia, she is a Fire Nihility character who is revolved around the super break playstyle. She is going to allow a team to deal super break damage onto enemies before they are broken, which greatly assists with the playstyle overall, as prior to that you would have to break an enemy in order to deal substantial damage to them. Now, before even breaking an enemy, you still will be able to dish out a nice amount of damage thanks to the Dahlia, as well as the other perks that she will have for a team as well, being more weakness breaking efficiency. She's going to be able to reduce enemies' defenses with her ultimate, which now results in the entire team being able to deal more damage onto those enemies. She is able to increase the speed of an ally who adds a weakness to an enemy, for example a character like Boothill, a character like Firefly. And if a fire character implants a weakness, so in this case for example Firefly, then they will also be able to deal a fixed amount of fire toughness reduction after the attack for every enemy that is implanted, as well as regenerate energy equal to 10% of their max energy. So through all of my tests of playing the Dahlia alongside Firefly, when Firefly does exit her ultimate's enhanced state, she'll easily be able to re-enter her ultimate, as she'll only need one skill in order to do so thanks to the extra energy from the Dahlia's trace. One of the Dahlia's traces will allow you to provide additional break effect for the team, especially if you have a sustain on the team. But of course, if you don't have a sustain, then that is perfectly fine as well. The Dahlia is also able to grant dance partner to an ally on the team as well as herself, and what's really nice about this is when the Dahlia uses her ultimate, she'll be able to implant the weakness type of both dance partners, meaning she will always implant fire weakness, but now she will also implant another type. So if you were to give dance partner to a character like Rappa or a character like Xueyi, in the case of Rappa, now the enemy will have imaginary weakness implanted onto them. In the case of Xueyi, now they will have quantum weakness implanted onto them. So the Dahlia's ultimate is very useful in being able to not only reduce enemy defenses, but also being able to implant both dance partners type onto the enemy as well. The Dahlia will also have follow-up attacks in her kit, which she will trigger her follow-up attack once the dance partner attacks an enemy, and this will trigger once per turn. And every 2 follow-ups she unleashes onto enemies, she will be able to assist with regaining a skill point for the team. This will be very useful for the skill point management of the team, as well as just the skill point usage overall, especially if you are using a character like Firefly, for instance, who wants to use her skill very frequently. So the Dahlia being able to assist with generating skill points will be very useful for skill point heavy teams. Additionally, depending on what light cone option you use, it could end up debuffing enemies even further, or allowing the Dahlia herself or even the dance partner or perhaps even the team to deal more damage onto enemies as well. So she'll be able to provide some extra benefits depending on what light cone you also use on her. And the Dahlia's kit overall has greatly assisted with the performance of super break characters. Prior to the Dahlia, once again, we weren't able to deal super break damage onto an enemy without them being broken. The Dahlia also being able to provide more weakness breaking efficiency for the team will allow the team to have an easier time breaking enemies as well. And I have released numerous showcases of the Dahlia on the channel featuring her with Firefly, Boothill, Rappa, Rappa, Xueyi, Himeko, Boba March 7th, and so on. And all of these showcases had a very nice performance in my opinion with the addition of the Dahlia, which for sustainless teams, I commonly liked to use the Dahlia alongside Fugue and then using Harmony Trailblazer or Ruan Mei. But another option, of course, you can consider is using the Dahlia, Harmony Trailblazer, and then Ruan Mei. I recently did this for a wealth showcase, as what's really nice about this is since Harmony Trailblazer is also an imaginary character, now when the Dahlia implants the type of herself and the dance partner, let's say the dance partner in this case was an imaginary character, Harmony Trailblazer will nicely be able to take advantage of this as well in order to further reduce enemies' toughness meters, especially since their skill is a bounce attack, which is able to nicely reduce enemies' toughness meters. So overall for the break archetype, the Dahlia provides excellent benefits that will nicely assist with improving the playstyle, which of course a lot of break characters have went up on the tier list because of this. As we can see here, Firefly is now tier 0.5 when it comes to Memory of Chaos here, as well as APOC. And I would say in the case of Firefly, when it comes to how much she can take advantage of the Dahlia's kit, she's definitely one of the characters that benefits the most. The reason I say this is because Firefly can also take advantage of that additional portion of the Dahlia's kit that mentions how if a character that is fire implants weaknesses, then there will be additional fire toughness reduction after the attack, as well as regenerating additional energy. This additional energy will assist with Firefly being able to get one turn ultimates, allowing her to nicely take advantage of her enhanced state throughout the battle. The Dahlia being able to assist with skill points also will help with the Firefly team, since depending on what the other characters are on the team, this can result in heavy skill point usage, especially from Firefly herself, and then depending who else is on the team. So the Dahlia being able to assist with regenerating skill points is huge for a character like Firefly, especially if you are using an E0 Firefly, which when I was doing my tests, I was using E0, and I was also able to get very nice slow cycle clears with Firefly. And then when it comes to the rest of the break damage dealers, we have Boothill and Rappa. They also went up. I would say that Firefly does benefit a bit more from the Dahlia's kits in comparison to Boothill and Rappa, but that doesn't mean that Boothill and Rappa don't greatly appreciate the Dahlia, as the Dahlia has essentially became one of the best in slot characters for any break team that you are considering to use because of the benefits that she'll be able to provide, greatly assisting with break teams' performance overall. For example, when I use a Boba March 7 team, if I'm not mistaken, I got a 2-cycle clear, and there have been some pretty nice clears out there as well, with her performing very well in endgame currently thanks to the Dahlia. And then also for a character like Xueyi, I tested the Dahlia with Xueyi as well, and I believe I was able to get a 2-cycle clear in Memory of Chaos with Xueyi. So I would say that's definitely very impressive for her performance overall, and what the Dahlia is able to provide for characters that can nicely take advantage of the break play style. And then of course we also have Himeko, which in the case of Himeko, you can do a very nice mono fire team. I would say that Himeko is way too low on the tier list right now due to the fact that she can nicely take advantage of the Dahlia's kit. I showcased Himeko alongside Fugue, the Dahlia, and Lingsha, and since all of them are fire characters, they can nicely take advantage of the fire implant thanks to the Dahlia, which the Dahlia will also be able to nicely assist with breaking enemies herself, resulting in Himeko getting more stacks for her follow-up attacks. If you have a character like Fugue on the team, now you have the exo toughness, so now you have more opportunities to get stacks for Himeko's follow-up. In the case of the Dahlia herself, she's going to ensure that fire weakness is on enemies thanks to her ultimate. And then when it comes to a character like Lingsha, if you rather use a character like Gallagher, that can also nicely work out. They are also both fire characters, and they will be able to nicely assist with reducing enemies' toughness meters as well, resulting in Himeko being able to unleash more frequent follow-up attacks onto enemies, and also being able to dish out a nice amount of damage with the super break playstyle overall, since she will be able to take advantage of the super break buffs on the team, and you can also give her a light cone that can assist with giving her even more break effect. So in the case of Himeko, I definitely think that she needs to go up, especially in a case like Pure Fiction. She definitely should go up there. I was able to recently get a 40k clear with Himeko, and as for Memory of Chaos and APOC, this could require more testing, as Himeko definitely can shine in a mode like Pure Fiction thanks to all the enemy waves, and then also being able to nicely take advantage of the exo toughness from Fugue, being able to implement implant the fire weakness once again with Dahlia. Another character that definitely needs to go up is Xueyi. I did just mention the clear that I had with Xueyi, which the video is also on my channel if you'd like to check it out. But I do think that with the addition of the Dahlia, that Xueyi can definitely get bumped up on the tier list. I don't think Xueyi is at the level of a character like Arlen or even base form Don Hong. I think Xueyi is absolutely higher on a tier list, as she can nicely take advantage of what the Dahlia is able to provide when it comes to the additional weakness breaking efficiency, enemies defenses being reduced thanks to the Dahlia, being able to deal super break damage before enemies are weakness broken, but then of course once they are broken you can dish out even more damage, and the Dahlia herself can also deal nice amounts of damage output as well through her follow-up attacks, her ultimate, and so on. So I would definitely say when it comes to Xueyi, just by testing her out, I would definitely say that Xueyi should get bumped up on the tier list. I do see that she has a little eyeball icon, so it's very much possible that she might get bumped up, but I definitely think that Xueyi needs to go up. You can also use Boba March 7th as a super break character as well, since her kit does have some benefits when it comes to the break play style, and when I tested her out with the Dahlia, she was able to do very nicely in Memory of Chaos. So I would say that she should maybe have a placement in the DPS section as well when considering using her as a main damage dealer, especially now with the addition of the Dahlia. And we can also see that Harmony Trailblazer and Fugue got bumped up, which is understandable as other break characters also got bumped up on the tier list. And I did mention earlier the cool thing that you can do in particular with Harmony Trailblazer if the dance partner is an imaginary character. Harmony Trailblazer will nicely be able to take advantage of the imaginary implant in order to nicely assist with reducing enemies' toughness meters. And then in the case of Fugue, of course, she's going to be able to provide the exo toughness, which numerous break characters can nicely take advantage of this. When it comes to characters like Xueyi and Himeko, they can nicely take advantage of this as well, as they'll be able to get more stacks for their follow-up mechanics. And Fugue is also, of course, a very nice partner when it comes to a character like Boothill, Rappa, and so on. As for the rest of the tier list, nothing really changed, and I'd love to know if you agree with the Dahlia's placement or if you feel like she should maybe be in tier 0 or tier 0.5 is a fine placement for her. I definitely think that she should be in this Apex character category due to what she provides for the Super Break playstyle, to the point where Super Break characters got bumped up on the tier list thanks to what she provides. I will say though, tier 0.5 is getting a bit crowded now. I'm not too sure if I would agree with all of these characters being in here, but I'd love to know just all of your thoughts on who you might potentially move, or if you think all of these characters should be in the same category as the Dahlia. I am very excited to see how 4.0 might shift things up when it comes to what new characters we'll end up getting, or just I guess 4.x in general, as I do believe we will be getting a new path. I personally think it might be an elation path just because of the hints that they've dropped so far through showing the new upcoming planet that we'll be going to. I'm really excited to see in 4.0 and beyond what type of characters we get. I'm just super excited for that, and I'd love to know just all of your thoughts on the tier list. If there are certain characters you would switch around, if you agree with the Dahlia's placement, if you've been playing Super Break teams yourself, how have you been enjoying the Dahlia if you did decide to pull her, or do you plan to actually skip the Dahlia and maybe you're waiting for a certain rerun, or if you're waiting for 4.0 at this point. I just love to know all of your thoughts in the comments down below, and once again, happy holidays. I hope all of you have a great day and also a very good New Year's as well. And if you'd like to see more content from me, consider subscribing to the channel, leave a like to support today's video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.